Think you have to make content that is native to the platform you put it out on.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode where we explore social media trends and the tactics so we are able to implement them ourselves. Today, we're going to look at the man, the myth, the legend, Gary Vee. For those of you who don't know who Gary Vee is, he is an internet entrepreneur, internet guru, and everything around social media. He is the touchstone of what we should do. So I thought it'd be useful for us to look at one of his videos, even though it was shot in 2018. This is more of a tactical video rather than talking about the latest tools or trends at the time. So we're going to look at this, explore, see what we can learn, and see what we can adapt for ourselves.
Think you have to make content that is native to the platform you put it out on. I've always thought about that. I wrote a book called Jab, Jab, Right Hook 5 years ago on this. I wasn't doing that. So now that Ask Gary Vee show is on Facebook Watch and the Daily V is on YouTube, when D-Rock is wherever, D-Rock? Hey, now I could say, what's up, YouTube? Whereas I couldn't do that before, and those little nuances matter.
It's a great tactic to have, and it's a great principle to really try to achieve. But I know for myself and for others, when we talk, it is something that is, one, very time consuming if you're trying to create content on a regular basis on all the platforms that you're trying to engage with. It could be 3 or 4 that you're trying to be consistent on. And two, there is a limitation on, if you're a one-man band, being able to curate a lot of individual content for the 2 platforms, which takes you away from your own work. But it's definitely something that we should try to achieve, because, as he will probably expand on later, if you are talking specifically to your YouTube audience on YouTube, specifically to your Facebook audience on Facebook, Instagram audience on Instagram, and so on, there is that native feel, so that it feels that this is a more personable experience for the people watching. But so it is something that we should try to attain, or at least try to achieve in some way, shape, or form. But it is quite difficult to implement just as a one-man band.
I broke them up mainly because of Facebook video. Now that there's Watch, I'm fascinated. Any of you watch a show yet on Facebook Watch? Just raise your hands, just curious. Higher. Right, so this intrigues me. Like, everybody here has to watch one. Not because, I don't watch I watched one, the Ball family, because I just want to see what they're doing. To me, this is the most interesting thing that I'm doing that the good market isn't. You've got to taste everything.
That is a great sentiment to have. You've got to taste everything. There's so many platforms now out there that you at least need to explore and see what is on them. It's not to say that you have to delve in 100% into every single platform. There's the likes of TikTok out there, and other Instagram facilities that people are a bit scared to even watch, because it will detract from what they're already doing or what they already believe that they know. But it is important that we at least look and see what is on these platforms. The likes of LinkedIn is extending its facilities so that we're able to do a lot more than it was before. If you think earlier on, LinkedIn was just a jobs notice board. Now it's more of a Facebook of business. So it's really important that we just explore all the platforms. If you hear of a new platform, go and taste it, as he says.
Because I watched Watch, and I watched it for 4 days in a row, looked, I understood what they were doing, so I sent them an email, I pitched them a show, and they bought it, right? So now I'll have anybody can put a show on Facebook, right? Like a page, a Watch page, which everybody should be doing here. I'll have my YouTube, show, and now I'm gonna have a produced by Facebook show that's gonna get big even more.
That's a clever tactic he's used. He's monetizing the content that he's putting out. He would be putting this content out on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram anyway, but for him to have enough of a brand that people know, like, and trust, that he can then go to Facebook and pitch a specific show format around himself, that says a lot. It says a lot about his brand that he's developed. Not everyone will be able to do that. Not everyone will be able to go and pitch a show to Facebook. But just the idea that he knows that he needs to be producing on these different platforms is something that we should be taking away.
Listen, man, I talk and like do it and hustle and all this. I do so much more than I talk, which is crazy because my mouth is always running, but I'm just doing. I'm doing because I'm tasting. I never think I'm fancy. So many people in here, and I know you, like so many people here make it a little bit and get fancy. Stop doing the that got them there. That's the minute you're dead.
It takes a lot of humility, contrast to the effing and blinding. It takes a lot of humility to be able to start from scratch on a lot of these platforms. A lot of us have developed audiences on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, no matter if it's 5,000, 10,000, 20, 100,000, or even 1 million followers. And we don't want to have that feeling of starting again when we go to a new platform or want to put more energy into another platform. But it's important for us to be fair in our judgment of whatever platform you're talking about, because if you're only putting a very small percentage of your effort into, say, YouTube, and you're getting half the results that you're getting from Instagram, but you're putting 90% of your effort, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, and you should be spreading yourself evenly across these platforms, across the main ones at least. There's obviously only so many hours in a day for you to be creating and developing your social media presence, but I think it's very important for you to be fair in your judgment and not get too romantic about whatever platform you may be favoring the day.
I'm sure a lot of people here who, let's say, have come into money, it's not as great as advertised for a lot of people. Some people love it. They like watches and Lambos and houses, and that's rad, like Mazel Tov. Other people don't, and you start questioning what the right? Because when you've got nothing and you're on the come up and you've got numbers in your head, whether it's 1 million or 5 or 3 or whatever it is, it's fucking empty when you get there for a lot of people. And so, I'm just trying to make sure people are being thoughtful. And I know a lot of you have heard me rant on this. I do think entrepreneurship has taken a turn towards club promotion, and that's just dangerous. It's just dangerous for the people that are I don't give a It's dangerous because people don't realize they need to build a business, not a perception that they're good at business.
Tend, I think that's a good point. All of us do like to put our best foot forward, and it's only normal that you would only put your best stuff, your best side out for the world to consume. But in this day of social media, we have to be genuine, and that will translate to genuine content, and that is what will attract the most genuine audience. So there are a few takeaways there from Gary Vee. Apologize for all the beeping that had to happen there, but I think the likes of Gary Vee, if you take aside the presentation of what he says, the effing and blinding, there are some good takeaways to be had, and we will look at some more of his videos in the future, looking at some of the overall tactics or philosophies that he attributes to his success. Until next time, take care. Remember to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and there will be more.